Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And today we have a very interesting topic. We are going to be talking about the big thing, the big conversational piece that has been around for a while. And that is RippleNet the new Swift? And is XRP going to be utilized on this new network? But first, I do want to hammer in on CBDCs because this has been a talking subject on this channel since the life cycle of it. And, there's a lot of discussions around these. Are they a sinister weapon for, the elites to utilize against us? And is there this, that, whatever? Like, we could talk about it all day long because there is so much happening around CBDCs. There's a lot of things to really kind of hammer in on because they are definitely a touchy subject. And, a lot of people like them. A lot of people don't like them. It's wishy-washy. Like, nobody really understands them fully, in my opinion. I think that a lot of people are kind of overlooking a few things within this. But to me, yes, they definitely are scary. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But first, I do want to play this video real quick from R3. And this is Bruno Ciscato. I hope that I'm saying that name right. He's actually talking with BFI Capital Group about CBDCs becoming reality rapidly. And what you see is in on what is happening on the ground. And listen closely to this video.
I will not name any of them, but there are some that have been really active with us. There are some that are very close to having production systems.
When you say close, when do you think they'll go?
I would say definitely within the next couple of years.
They'll go live within the next 2 years.
Yes, with some like pilot project.
So yeah, within the next 2 years. And with this, I do think that this is going to be the new system. I think that this is the beginning of the new financial system. I've talked about this even with the FedNow system. I think that the FedNow is an introduction to a US CBDC. And one thing that I really kind of try to discuss with everyone is just how fast this chart has moved. Like, here is January of 2020. So here's the map of CBDCs. This is cbdctracker.org for anybody out there that did want to utilize this. And this was 2020. And then all of a sudden, this is today. And look at how different that map looks. Look at how many developments there were in the last 2 years alone. I mean, these continue to move and move and move and move. And even in 2023, right? Because like 2021 and 2022, yeah, we're obviously going to expect a lot of movement. But here you have 2023. Look at the research. Look at the proof of concepts. I mean, look at the pilots, the launch. Like, there was a launched one in the Bahamas already. The Big Four are researching, launching proof of concepts. I mean, this is a big deal. India is in pilot stages right now. So as we do look at this, like, a lot of these big nations and these big areas are actually focused on CBDCs right now. They're in the middle of either one, launching it, testing it, and this is a serious thing. So we need to, make sure that we're focused on these because a lot of people are asleep at the wheel. I've talked about this many times on this channel. But over here, we do see from Ripple, the global value of CBDCs could grow dramatically from $100 million today to $213 billion by 2030, according to a new report from Juniper Research. The future of money is digital. Learn more about Ripple CBDC solutions. Now, we did see from XRP Crypto Wolf, I'll only trust the CBDCs working with the XRP ledger and Ripple. And I gotta say, I do agree with that because recently, going back to March 27th, we did see privacy in central bank digital currency. And this got posted from James Wallace, which, by the way, if you don't know James Wallace, he's been a long-term employee, if you will, over at Ripple. And he's been the main one that kind of has been discussing these CBDC policies and really kind of talking about a few things around Ripple as well within, even just cross-border payments and a few things, but mainly CBDC talk. But if we look down here, I do think that, and I said this in a recent video as well, I think that having these decentralized parties or these parties that are here for the people, a part of this journey and a part of the overall decision making around CBDCs, I think that is crucial because without that, guess what? We won't have privacy preserved. We won't have a system where we are also in control. we'll just have central bankers being in control of, digital currencies, which is not the move. I also think that this is why decentralized currencies and decentralized projects within crypto are going to thrive rapidly going into the next couple of years, because CBDCs are going to be a big talking point. But we do see key considerations for privacy, security, and digital assets, reasons for privacy, and the degrees of privacy in CBDCs. Key stakeholders in the CBDC privacy conversation, including central banks, commercial banks, and merchants, technology's role in consumer privacy, and how potential and existing regulations will impact CBDCs. And there's been a few discussions here. So one, it was a pleasure to collaborate with such an expert group of contributors on the CBDC and privacy wallpaper or white paper, sorry. And by the way, they do have the full white paper if you guys did want to go read it. I just didn't want to include it in this video because it really is a long white paper and it really doesn't have a lot of talking points. But one thing that this paper explores is that CBDCs and the blockchain technology they are built upon offer enhanced security and access management to help ensure privacy across the various use cases that are being implemented, which, by the way, if these CBDCs are going to be issued out on private ledger technology like the XRP ledger, I do entrust this. When you actually come down here, and you can look through everything around this website, obviously, but if you learn more about XRP, you could also learn more about the XRP ledger and why the XRP ledger would be the perfect ledger technology for CBDCs, considering the fact that it is fully decentralized. It has been around for well over a decade. It's try, test, and intrude, and I do think that that would be the perfect ledger technology for CBDCs. Very similar to even Hedera. But over here, we do see the future of central bank digital currencies. It's got posted on May 8th, obviously from James Wallace, said the big guy behind CBDCs. And when we look here, they do offer quite a bit of things, and we also do see examples of key central banks planning CBDC initiatives. In Brazil, the central bank is ready and plans to launch CBDC in 2024. Central Bank of Montenegro recently announced a pilot project for CBDC with Ripple. The Bank of England seems to be moving forward with the work on the digital pound, as evidenced by job postings with CBDC-related titles posted on the bank's website. And in a recent speech by Sir John Cunliffe, he noted that the Bank of England is well advanced in the build and implementation of a new central bank real-time payment system, or TGS, the central bank or the central rail of the current UK payments infrastructure. The Digital Currency Monetary Authority has announced the Universal Monetary Unit, UMU, a digital coin designed to accelerate cross-border transactions. Excuse me. The EU Parliament recently endorsed the first EU rules to trace crypto asset transfers, prevent money laundering, as well as common rules on supervision and consumer protection, which, by the way, this actually kind of terrifies me because this is going to fully disrupt DeFi. And I don't like that, right? I think that DeFi needs to thrive. I think that DeFi needs to be a big thing that thrives within crypto because it's one of the biggest things that got a lot of people into crypto. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you guys think about that. But I don't like this idea here around like how you could trace and track every single crypto asset transaction or transfer. It's a little concerning to me. Obviously, yes, I know everything is on the blockchain. You could track and trace pretty much anything, but I think that this combined with KYC and all that, I mean, like you're not going to be able to escape anything, which to me is a little concerning. But here we have the future of money is digital. They even do take a look at with a strong technology in place for central banks to launch their own CBDCs. It's expected that in 2023, there will be a greater adoption of digital currencies. The transformation from fiat to digital currencies offers the promise of lower costs for basic financial services, increased security, accelerated payments, and reduced energy consumption. And this is all centered on this new financial system. And it seems as though Ripple is becoming a big player because they already have 3 major players on board with Montenegro, as well as Palau. And then there was also another one that I recently seen, but I'm forgetting the name. But there's a few things that we talked about so far with what Ripple was focused on with CBDCs already. Now, I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about what is really happening around value transfer and why I believe that Ripple could very well be the next Swift, or at least be working with them. So first off, I do want to play this quick little segment here. It's not too long. It's about a minute long. This is the BD of APAC. Key quote: "We've solved one problem with traditional finance and infrastructure. What other problems can we solve? You can apply that to settling of equities, to bonds, right, and other assets, and we're moving into that sphere now." Listen closely to this video.
That's a real tangible use case. We've built a network on blockchain, digital assets, clears into 40 markets, cleared 10 billion last year. We're probably going to double that this year. And we power on, right? And so the discussion is really around, okay, we've solved one problem with traditional financial infrastructure? What other problems can we solve? You can apply that to settling of equities, to bonds, right, and other assets, and we're moving into that sphere now, right? Using all our learnings, how can we help solve some of those other problems?
And what about benefits around the environment? How does it help there? You've touched on benefits for society and a bit about the economic benefits, but yeah, environmental, that's an interesting one.
No, that's a great one, actually. It's something you don't hear the industry talk about a lot, but it is now coming up, right? Mm-hmm. So we're actually super proud of the ledger that we use for cross-border. So the XRP ledger is a carbon neutral ledger. Interesting topic around.
And then he goes on to talk a little bit about carbon neutrality and things like that. But for the most part, you could understand that the XRP ledger is a part of the entire life cycle here. And also, by the way, for anybody who thinks that the CBDCs won't be issued out on private ledger technology on the XRP ledger, I highly suggest you all go to this CBDC, central bank digital currency topic over on their website. It's the third one down. And then watch this video and go to about like I would say the third quarter of the video. They even talk about how they want XRP to be the bridge between all CBDCs. Now, I do want to wrap this video up with one last thing, and that is the Swift quote from David Schwartz. So, yes, this is old news. I get it, guys. But you see Schwartz on Swift a few years ago. I think 2017, but don't quote me. And here we have the main reason we built RippleNet and Xcurrent was because payments were too slow for fast and cheap settlement to matter all that much. If Swift wants to fix payments for us, that's great. It's one less thing we have to do. So when we look at this, right, payments are getting faster. But the problem is that with payments getting faster, there's still a big problem with settlement. Because yes, they're getting faster, but settlement is not happening. This is locking up a lot of capital. This is pretty much creating a blockage, if you will. And I do think that the system is extremely fragmented. I've talked about this many times on the channel as well, like rapid payments demand rapid settlement. I don't think that Ripple is going to be the next Swift network. A lot of people think that it is. I just don't see it as that. It was never set out to be the next Swift network, if you will. Do I think that RippleNet could essentially get to the point where it is as large, if not bigger than Swift? Sure, I do. I don't think, though, that RippleNet is focused. I don't think Ripple themselves is focused on becoming the next Swift. I think if they could have XRP plug and played within the Swift system, which technically you could even have RippleNet plugged into the Swift network as a third-party API, and they could source XRP as a settlement token, then that would be perfect. Because we even do see up here, like, our strategy has been to position XRP as a settlement asset. The faster payments are, the more important it is to have settlement that is fast and even cheap. And when we look at this, like, to me, I look at Swift and their plans with blockchain technology and crypto technology as being right on par with this idea. I think that looking at what Ripple has done so far around cross-border payments and around a lot of the initiatives that they've already been focused on, especially even with crypto liquidity, like, to me, it's only a matter of time until these networks are sourcing digital assets for settlement, because it just makes sense. You could have transactions done a lot quicker, a lot cheaper, and it does free up a lot of working capital. I just don't understand why we wouldn't see, Swift utilizing the power and the potential of crypto technology through Ripple. And a lot of people ask me, like, how will this work? Like, how will all of this work? Well, it's very simple, right? Like, RippleNet could be plug and played. I don't know if there is, I don't think that there's like a full-on breakdown of this over on their website, because a lot of things have changed over time. But, if you really look into a few things, like even around, cross-border payments, for example, I don't think that they mentioned the API here, but a lot of this is plug and played through an API. It's pretty quick. It's very easy to set up. Like, most of this is set up very fast. Even if you go down and you look at their customer case studies, and you look at some of these like case studies like Navati, for example, and you see how, I don't know if they even include it here, but there's a few on here where they do talk about how fast they could have these payment solutions set up, and it's literally minutes. So when we look at that and we actually look at Swift, like I do think that this would be very easy to have RippleNet plug and played within Swift, having XRP as that settlement asset, which would be the overall goal. And I think that that could very well be a possibility at some point in time. Now, do I think, like I said, is Ripple trying to become the next Swift? Will they become the next Swift? It's questionable, but I will say, as we do see de-dollarization happening globally, and as we do see a major pushback against Swift and dollar-dominated networks, that, yeah, we could very well see RippleNet become a major choice for a lot of those foreign nations to utilize RippleNet and also the power of XRP, ultimately giving the US no choice but to adopt RippleNet as a payment network, which would be very bullish, and I could actually see that becoming a reality. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. This is up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.